There's a philosophy that has helped people survive extremely difficult situations, and today you're going to discover how this philosophy can help you win the battles of your daily life too. You probably know someone who has gone through such difficult situations in life that few people would survive. Maybe that person is a relative of yours, a friend, or someone whose story you know through the internet. I'm talking about the kind of person who, while everyone else crumbles at the first sign of difficulty, keeps going. While everyone else complains and gives up, this person perseveres. Many people don't know this, but there's a Japanese concept called gaman that has transformed ordinary men and women into unstoppable human beings. This concept isn't about motivation or temporary willpower. It's about something much deeper, rooted in one's very identity. There's a catch. This concept doesn't teach you to avoid suffering. It teaches you to go through it with dignity and purpose. And when you understand that, nothing can stop you anymore. I'm not saying that everyone who perseveres knows or has heard of gaman. Many live by the pillars of this philosophy without ever having heard of it. But when you know and apply the concepts to your life, your chances of persevering in any situation increase. Gaman is a Japanese concept of great cultural depth and is often treated as a philosophy of life. In essence, gaman means enduring the seemingly unbearable. It is the ability to face adversity, difficulties, and suffering with patience and dignity. Silent resilience. It implies maintaining the self-control and emotional discipline without complaining, expressing excessive distress, or seeking external recognition for their effort. Perseverance. It's the determination to keep going and do your best in difficult times without giving up in the face of obstacles. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Before we continue, I want to take this moment to thank you again for following me on this channel. I recently read a comment from a subscriber who has been alcohol-free and free from addictions for 12 days, and my content helped her stay strong. It's a great joy for me to know that my content is helping you in this way. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. Thank you also to the channel members who are giving me enormous support. You are incredible. I'll soon be posting a new video about addictions. Another subscriber suggested this idea, and I really liked it. This video will be released soon. Stay tuned. Now, back to the video. Chapter 1. The Weight of the World on Our Shoulders. The story I'm about to tell you is about a young man named David. He was 16 years old and in his second year of high school. 3 years ahead before college, David wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He wasn't so poor as to go hungry, but his family knew intimately the burden of bills that don't add up at the end of the month. No presents for every holiday, no luxuries, no room for error. And there was one detail that made everything even harder. His father had abandoned the family when David was still a child. Since then, it had only been him, his mother, and 2 younger siblings. His mother worked 2 jobs. She left before sunrise and returned when the moon was already in the sky. David saw in her eyes the weariness that doesn't disappear with a night's sleep, the weariness that accumulates when you carry the weight of the world alone. That's when something changed inside him. David had to be the man of the house very early on, not because someone asked him to, but because he saw his mother coming home with swollen feet and a forced smile, trying to hide her exhaustion. He made a silent promise, a promise that no one heard, but that burned in his heart every single day. I'm going to give her a better life, my brothers, us. But how? He had no money. He had no connections. He had no privileges. The only thing he had was a good head on his shoulders and a will that hurt so much it was painful. So he decided. Education. It was the only way out. If he dedicated himself to his studies, if he managed to get into a good university, maybe he could change his family's destiny. David started studying seriously, not just the basic homework stuff. He began preparing for college entrance exams, SAT, ACTE, but reality didn't care about his promises. He worked part-time at a supermarket, 4 hours every day after school. The money he earned helped pay the bills, buy food, and make ends meet. So his routine was this: wake up at 5:30 a.m., go to school at 7 a.m., leave at 2 p.m., work from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., get home, help his mother with his siblings, study, and go to sleep around midnight. 5 hours of sleep. every single day. And he also wanted to exercise, not because he wanted to get muscular or run marathons, but because he understood that if he got sick, if his health failed, he wouldn't be able to help anyone. The first month was hell. He woke up exhausted. He slept on top of his books. He arrived late to work. He couldn't study much for the tests. The routine was crushing him. In the second week of the first month, he thought about giving up the extra studies. Maybe it would be better if I just worked longer hours and brought in more money now. By the fourth week, the idea was hammering in his head. College is for people who have time. I need money now. That's when he made a decision. He talked to his history teacher, an older, quiet woman who always looked at him with that look of someone who understands. That look that says, I know what you're going through. Chapter 2. The conversation that changed everything. David knocked on her classroom door after class. Professor, may I speak with you? She gestured for him to sit down. He sat down and began to pour his heart out about everything. He talked about his mother, his job, wanting to study but not being able to balance everything, about thinking about giving up. David wasn't very close to his teacher, but he was so overwhelmed that he needed to unload all the weight he was feeling. The teacher listened in silence. She didn't judge. She didn't give that generic motivational lecture. She just listened. When he finished, she took a deep breath and said, David, do you know why I understand exactly what you're feeling? He shook his head. My parents are Japanese. They fled Japan during World War II. When the war ended, they were able to come to the United States. I was born here, but they suffered terrible prejudice. They were Japanese immigrants at a time when that was almost a crime. She paused. Her eyes drifted to the distance as if she were gazing into the past. They couldn't find jobs. They were rejected everywhere. We were truly starving, David, starving for days without eating. And do you know what I heard my parents saying to each other every night? David waited. Fun. David frowned. Gammon. It's a Japanese word. It means to persevere with dignity, to endure what needs to be endured without complaining, to continue even when everything seems impossible. She leaned forward. When I grew up, I also thought about dropping out of college. Things had improved a little for us, but I was scared of not being able to do it, of failing, of not being good enough. And there, my parents sat me down. They explained the real Gammon. It's not just about enduring it quietly, it's about understanding that temporary suffering is the price of permanent transformation. It's about having the courage not to give up when giving up seems like the only logical option. David felt something move inside him, as if a door had been opened. Do you think I can do it? She looked him in the eyes. David, you're already practicing Gammon and you don't even know it. You work, you study, you take care of your siblings. You don't complain, you simply do it. What you need now is not to give up. It's to understand the depth of what you're already doing. Chapter 3. The research that opened our eyes. That night, David arrived home and researched Gammon. He stayed up until 2 a.m. reading. He discovered that Gammon doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending everything is okay. It means acknowledging the pain, accepting the challenge, and consciously deciding that you will get through it with your self-respect intact. And then he came across 2 other concepts that blew his mind: Kaizen and Ikigai. Kaizen, continuous improvement, 1% better every day. It doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to be consistent. Ikigai, your reason for living, the purpose that makes you wake up in the morning. David understood everything at once. His Ikigai was to give his mother and siblings a better life. Kaizen was improving 1% every day without giving up. And Gammon was the force that would sustain all of this when things became impossible. He picked up a notebook. He wrote at the top of the first page, I will persevere with dignity. Every day, 1% better. For those I love. Chapter 4. Redesigning life. The next day, David woke up different. He didn't wake up more motivated. We know that motivation is temporary. He woke up determined, and the decision is permanent. He sat down and made a plan. Not a motivational plan full of impossible promises, a real plan. Wake up at 5 a.m., not 5:15 a.m. At 5 a.m. First thing, 15 minutes of exercise, no expensive gym. Push-ups or squats, jogging around the block. Simple. 5:15 a.m. to 6 a.m. Study mathematics, 6:00 a.m. to 6:45 a.m. Get ready, have breakfast, help siblings. 7 a.m. School. 2 p.m. Leave school. 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Study a little. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Work. 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Dinner, helping mum. 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Study for the SAT. 11 p.m. Sleep. 6 hours of sleep. It wasn't ideal, but it was possible. He looked at the plan. He felt the weight of the commitment, but he also felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Clarity. Some days he wouldn't be able to do a full weight training session. That's okay. He'd do 10 push-ups instead of 20. He'd run for 5 minutes instead of 15. Kaizen, 1% better. Not perfect. Constant. Chapter 5. The Internal War. The week was exactly as he expected. A living hell. His body screamed for more sleep. His mind negotiated every day. Just today you can sleep an extra half hour. You can make up for it tomorrow. But David remembered Gaman's concept. He took a deep breath and repeated to himself, I endure this with dignity. This temporary discomfort is the price of the life I want. In the second week, his body started to anticipate the alarm. Sometimes he would wake up 5 minutes before 5 a.m. By the third week, the morning exercise had ceased to be torture and had become a ritual. A month later, the routine was working. Not perfectly, but working. His grades started to improve. At work, his manager praised his punctuality. At home, his mother began to notice that he was more focused, more present. But then came the first real test. Because there will always be barriers, tests, and difficulties, nothing will ever happen 100% as you planned, and it is at that moment that you will discover whether you truly choose to persevere or give up. Chapter 6. When Everything Falls Apart. 3 months later, David's younger brother fell ill. High fever. His mother had to miss work to take him to the hospital. David covered her shift at one of her jobs. He worked 12 hours that day. He got home at 11 p.m., exhausted and broken. The alarm went off at 5 a.m. He turned it off and stared at the ceiling. His body was begging to stay in bed. That's when he remembered, Gaman. It's not about how I feel, it's about who I've decided to be. He got up. He did 10 push-ups instead of 20. He studied for 20 minutes instead of 45, but he didn't create a gap. The river kept flowing. The following week, he caught the flu. 2 days of fever. He did less than he normally did, but he didn't stop. David understood the concept I always talk about with you here on the channel. 1 is greater than 0. It's much better to study for 30 minutes than not to study at all. It's much better to run 3 kilometers than not to run at all. And this applies to everything in life. A psychologist who studies resilience discovered that people who persevere are not those who never fall. They are those who have defined in advance who they are, regardless of the circumstances. When their identity is clear, behavior follows automatically. Chapter 7. The Turning Point. David was in his 3rd year now, junior year, 1 year until graduation. He worked, studied, and helped out at home. His routine was relentless. People at school started to notice. Dude, you never miss a game. How do you do it? David thought. How do you explain Gaman to someone who has never truly needed to persevere? But one Sunday morning, while he was washing a neighbor's car to earn some extra money, David had an idea. He was good at washing cars. Fast, meticulous, efficient. The neighbor always praised him. David, you should do this professionally. I would pay you. The seed was planted. David started doing this on weekends just to earn some extra money, but he saw that it was an opportunity for something bigger. The following week, he washed another neighbor's car, then another. The neighbors started recommending him to each other. David made simple flyers on the library computer. Professional car wash, weekends, fair price. He distributed them in the neighborhood. The first month, he had 3 regular customers. On weekends, he washed their cars. He earned $50 per car, $150 per week, $600 per month. It wasn't much, but it helped. He didn't stop at the supermarket yet. He continued working, but he started investing that extra money in better materials, quality wax, special shampoo, a professional vacuum cleaner. The quality of his work improved. Clients recommended him to others. In the second month, he had 8 regular customers. In the third month, 15. Kaizen, 1% better every day. Consistency was working. But here comes the part no one expected. David wasn't doing this just for the money. He was learning something much bigger. When you persevere with dignity, when you deliver consistent quality, the world begins to notice. Chapter 8. The Impossible Decision. Senior year, final year of high school. David now had 25 regular customers. He spent entire weekends washing cars. He hired 2 school friends to help. He paid them by the hour. He still made a profit. Then came the time to apply to colleges. He applied to 3 universities. All of them offered financial aid to low-income students. His grades were good, not perfect, but solid. He wrote in his essay about gammon, about persevering with dignity, about working, studying, and taking care of family at the same time. 3 months later, the letter arrived. He had been accepted into a state university with a full scholarship. His mother cried when he showed her the letter. It was the first time he had seen her cry tears of joy. But then came the impossible decision. The car wash business was doing so well that he was making more money on weekends than he did at the supermarket in an entire month. He could expand, hire more people, turn it into a real business, or I could go to college and let the business die. David spoke with his mother. "Mom, I can do both. I can go to college and continue the business on weekends." She held his hand. "David, you've already done more than any mother could ask. You've been working since you were 16. You take care of your siblings. You've made me proud every single day. Now go to college, learn, grow. Business can wait." But David had learned one thing from gammon. Perseverance isn't about choosing the easy way out. It's about choosing the right way out, even when it's the hardest. "Mom, I'll do both. Not because I need to, but because I can." Here I want to point something out to you. Something I learned from my own experience. Sometimes our parents won't understand us, won't understand our reasons, won't understand our goals, or why we strive so hard. Many times, you will have to do the opposite of what your father or mother is telling you in order to achieve your goal. For example, maybe your parents want you to go to college X because they believe it's the best thing to do, but your dream might be to start your own business or do something different. At this moment, when you're facing this decision, you need to stand by what you believe in and make a difficult choice. This doesn't mean being reckless, but being intelligent and courageous. Chapter 9. The Result of Perseverance. David went to college. He studied business administration. He continued his car wash business on weekends. In his first year of college, he had 40 clients and 5 employees. In his second year, he opened a physical location. In his third year, 2 locations. He learned about marketing in college and applied it to the business. He learned about management and improved operations. He learned about finance and started investing the profits. When he graduated 4 years later, his business was making $20,000 a month. His mother no longer needed to work 2 jobs. He paid off the family debts. He enrolled his siblings in a better school. But do you know what David says when people ask him how he did it? Gammon, "I persevered with dignity when giving up seemed like the only option." The difference between people who transform their lives and people who remain stagnant is not in talent or opportunities. It's in the ability to keep going when all logical reasons say to stop. Chapter 10. The Truth About gammon. Gammon isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's not about pretending everything is okay. It's not about being an emotionless robot. Gammon is about recognizing that life will knock you down. It will test you. It will give you reasons to give up every single day. And yet, you choose to get up. You choose to continue. You choose to do what needs to be done with dignity and self-respect intact. David had days when he cried from exhaustion. There were days when he wanted to give up. There were days when everything seemed impossible. But he never created a gap. The river never stopped flowing, and that, in the end, made all the difference. The question remains, are you ready to incorporate gammon into your life? Because it won't be easy, it won't be comfortable. You'll want to give up every single day. But when you understand that temporary suffering is the price of permanent transformation, everything changes. When you define your ikigai, your reason for living, and commit to Kaizen, 1% better every day, and sustain all of that with gammon, perseverance with dignity, you become unstoppable. David wasn't special. He didn't have superpowers. He had a family that depended on him, an impossible routine, and a clear decision. I'm not going to give up. And that decision, renewed every single day, completely transformed his life. The secret strength of those who never give up is not the absence of fear. It's the presence of purpose. It's looking in the mirror and saying, no matter what happens today, I will persevere with dignity. That's gammon. And when you truly understand it, when you truly practice it, you discover that you are stronger than you ever imagined. If you've watched this far, all I have to say is thank you. Thank you very much for your attention. Tell me in the comments, what is your ikigai, and what will your plan be to achieve your goal? Remember, perseverance with dignity is the only strength that no one can take away from you. Be present, walk with honor, follow the path. Until the next video.